What is going on, you legends? Another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures. And in this episode, going through a little bit of what's happening in the rear. I've also wanted to show you how I've done my drawers, how I put stuff in there, how I'm actually going to go camping with it. And as you can see, I'm down at the beach. A little bit overcast today, but it's never a bad time to go forward driving, is it? How good. So, first things first, I think this episode is going to cover two things. We're going to cover the fridge. I want to talk a little bit about that, and I also want to talk about, as I said, the drawers. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so first things first, let me talk about the fridge and tell you about what I think about everything that's happened with it. Also going to tell you something that's gone wrong with it as well. Nothing major, just a little bit of a cosmetic thing, but Bushman really come to the party quickly and fixed me up. So the thing that went wrong is the door. This piece here is actually made of wood, so it's not metal or anything like that, so no magnets stick to it. But what happened is they've cut the piece of wood a little bit too short, and the wood sort of bowed out a little bit, so I had to get a new door. So I contacted Bushman and just said, hey, look, the doors are doing this, and they got into it straight away. So real quick service, they got me a new door in like 3 days. Changing over was a super simple process. Literally, you just take it off the hinge. As you're going to do because obviously I switched the door hinge onto the right-hand side because they come from factory from the left. So all I had to do was pretty much take this off, take a few screws off at the top, pull the door out, put the new door in, replace all the stickers that I put on the other one, but hey, it is what it is. Sort of recovered a few like bush rats and that kind of stuff, and grab me gear sort of saved, but yeah, some of them didn't quite make it, unfortunately. Inside, so pretty much this is how I run it on like a daily basis. A couple of beers and that kind of stuff in there, you know, basic stuff. I don't really put anything in there for long term. I just got a couple of beers and that kind of stuff in there. For generally, if I'm going to go to a mates or something like that, I've got a few beers in the back of the car. So regardless of the door, that hasn't really affected my opinion on the product at all because they replaced it, so happy days. Really happy with how much you can actually fit into these fridges. So yes, they got a smaller freezer, but 9 times out of 10, I don't really do much freezing of my stuff when I'm going out camping anyway. Honestly, most of the time in there's some icy poles. That's about it for like a really hot day. The actual amount of food you can fit into these things is absolutely crazy. So when we went to Monkey Mire, we had a massive amount of food. You're going out there for 6 days. Didn't really want to go shopping in Denham. So yeah, you just load up. And we fit an absolute 6 days worth of food in there. And yeah, we had plenty of spare at the end of the trip as well. But yeah, massive amount of size for the actual size of the fridge. So you're not really choosing between a fridge and freezer. It's got a tiny little 9-litre freezer in there, but I still reckon you're better off with more fridge. You can fit more beers, you can have a little bit more food in there, and you're pretty much sorted. So that's the way I look at camping. As many beers as possible you can fit into the fridge, happy days. Anything else beyond that, as I said, built really well. The only thing that went wrong really was the door. I had to, as I said, replace the hinge back on this side, which is just 2 pilot holes, and you screw it all back in, so that's nice and easy to do. But really, really happy with the fridge. Power usage, so this is interesting. So I'll just turn on the Marine here, and this will tell you actually how much the fridge draws. So on average, so at the moment I'm getting a couple of amps in from the solar. Not really much sun today, but a couple of amps in for the solar. But this on average probably uses about 3.5 to 4 amps. A couple of times cycling, obviously a couple of times per hour, depending on how hot it is, obviously. Really cold days like today, I mean, it's only probably 20 degrees. It's going to cycle probably once an hour, so it's going to use a lot less power. But honestly, for the size of the fridge, it's not actually using much power at all. And it's got a freezer in there as well, so you got to compensate for that. But 3.5 amps roughly per hour is what it's using. So I'm pretty happy with the sort of the power side of things. And I've just pretty much got that off the Marine. So that's not like a perfect estimate. It's just based on what I've sort of seen on the Marine. When it clicks in, you can see the 3.5 amps sort of coming in. So take grain of salt, but it gives you an idea. All right, let's move on from the fridge. Really happy with that, so I can highly recommend that as a product. As I said, it's been in the car for 3 months roughly now, but still really highly recommend the Bushman fridge. They do a 110. I'm kind of sort of kicking myself I didn't go for the 110 because I reckon I could have fit it, but I reckon I might have been just pushing it a little bit. But 85, yeah, bloody beautiful fridge. So really highly recommend that. All right, let's get into the drawers. Let's see how I've done my pantry and that kind of stuff. and my camping drawers are now all set up, and I've also set up the cutlery drawers, so we'll get into that. All right, drawers. So I've sort of already taken you through them, so you've probably already seen the video where I've set these up, but let me tell you how I've pretty much put all my stuff in there. So I'll start off with the pantry. This is how I run my pantry. So I've got a fair bit in there. So oil, all my sort of, basics that I use for camping, flour, pasta, all that kind of stuff. So this place is now pretty much packed to the brim. I put these little hooks in here for my cups. So they just sit in there and hold me cups, and nothing really moves in here. So I've got to give a testament to John and the team at Black Label. Nothing rattles. It's really, really nice to not have any noises in the car, if you know what I mean. And up here, you probably would have seen I've got my spice rack, bit of MSG for a bit of extra flavour and all that kind of stuff. But this is pretty much how I set up my pantry. So it's got a few, a few small things I tape, toilet paper if I need to use like stuff to wipe my hands or whatever. Rubbish bags, that kind of stuff, but that's pretty much my pantry. So I'm really happy with how that's turned out, and what I'll do is I'll jump into this one first. So in here, we've got a bit of everything. So you probably saw on my Wellington Dam video, if you've seen it, I've used these things to make sauces and that kind of stuff. They're quite handy, flat pack little bowls. I've got a standard lithium booster pack for your phone, that kind of thing. Matches, I got stubby holders. I've got a fire extinguisher down here. Then I've got my gas burner. So this fits like to the dial in here. I've actually replaced this. I've actually got a new one. So keen to give that a test. But my old faithful did eventually rust out. Probably be in the back of the Trident in those drawers. Probably got a little bit wet too many times. Moving on, I've got my AeroPress. I really, 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 really love this product. Not associated with them at all. So Alex actually got me onto this. The idea is you pretty much put your coffee grounds in there, hot water, you tamp it down, that gives you your pressure, and then it makes a really nice coffee. And you just need a filter. So really easy way to make a nice coffee when you're camping. And then there's a few other things. You got like, stainless steel wall holders and to clean stuff. I've got some normal coffee, tea bags, sugar. I've got, what else have I got in here? I've got the Travel Buddy. Pretty much all the gear for that, and a few other things like a tyre repair kit that just fits in the Travel Buddy, or just a place that'll fit. That's pretty much my top drawer sorted, but that's pretty much how I've got it laid out now, which is really good. And then moving on to the bottom drawer, this is my heavy drawer. So this has pretty much got all the good stuff in it. So this is my chair. I'll probably talk about that in my next trip, so I won't go into too much detail about that one. I've got my awning wall, which sits in there all the time because I'm always at the beach. Not today. But if it was a sunny day, I'd have the awning out. Got a few lights, pillow for my my swag. I've got my booster pack for my Tech World in there. I've got hammers, I've got spanners, your aero guard. I've got a few towels in here, window washer in case you get dirty windscreen, you can't clean it. Obviously gas mate gas in there. I've got an axe in here, little torches, airbag man compressor hose. I've got washing stuff, and then this guy here is actually a cool bit of kit. So what you do, I wouldn't actually mount it on here, but what you do is you mount it somewhere with a hinge, and you actually have a full-fledged bin that you can use. I normally hang it off the end of this, so I hang it off the end of that handle, and then I've got a full-fledged bin at the end of my setup. So they're quite neat. They're off eBay. I think roughly off the top of my head they're about 20 bucks, so they're not expensive. Then you've got this guy here. So this is my favorite thing to take camping now, is my jet boil. So this bag carries a full gas bottle, and then you have the jet boil itself in there. So that's all fits in there nice and neatly. But I really, really do love the jet boil. As a lot of people said to me, oh, it boils up so quick, and I didn't really believe them. But once you get one and you start using it, you sort of wonder how you didn't go without it. So I've also got a milk frother. So I use this just to pretty much froth my morning coffees. You can do a few other things with it, but it's pretty much there to froth up my milk for my morning coffee, because I do like to have a bit of a frothy coffee in the morning. And if you're camping, I find when you're camping, you really really enjoy having nice coffee and that kind of stuff. Waking up around the fire and just enjoying the scenery around you. Yeah, nothing beats a good coffee. I've got a couple of D-shackles in there just for worst case scenario for recovering, cable ties. I've got a sink in here, and I've got some valve cores, I should say, for when you might have an issue at the beach or something like that, need to get a new valve core. one of those things that I probably highly recommend to have in your kit, because I've been stuck where I've been to the beach, valve core stuffed up, and Bob's your uncle, you can't pump your tyre up. So I had to actually replace the tyre with the spare. That's another whole drama, so you're taking stuff off on the sand. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. So now I just carry extra valve cores and that kind of thing. So really, really handy if you use the quick deflators where you pull the valve core out. They're really handy for those situations, because you might just get a little bit of dirt in there, and then yeah, your valve won't seal and you're buggered. So recommend the old valve cores in the kit. So that's me. That's my second drawer. As I said, that's got everything I need to go camping and all the major stuff. And then I'll get into this guy here. So this is my bar. I keep everything I need for cooking in here. So on this side, we've got just some standard wipes that you use to clean up stuff. I've got my cast iron skillet, a few other things. So that's there pretty much to stop the cast iron from burning this laminate top. I've got a few other things like cleaning stuff, all that kind of stuff. This is my knives and forks. I got this actually off Amazon. So this is all my knives and forks and that kind of thing. All in one handy little pack. So that makes, just getting knives and forks and that kind of stuff super easy. And I've got matches, I've got a torch, I've got 3 lots of tongs in here which all go into each other. Everything I've sort of chosen to go in this drawer is pretty much around the basis of it has to have either be really, really small and compact, and I want it to have sort of multi-uses. So the cast iron pan, I can cook steaks in it. I can do a spaghetti sauce in there as well. As I said, the knives and forks, that's got also my measuring cups, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, not measuring cups, my measuring teaspoons and that kind of stuff in there. On this side, I've got spatula, this beautiful knife I picked up off of Amazon as well. I'm a bit of an Amazon purchaser. My old faithful Tefal, and I've got just a flipper, another pair of tongs, and just a spoon that I use for mixing stuff and that kind of thing. Chopping board fits in there perfectly. And moving down just a little bit further, I've got a couple of hot hands. So when you take the cast iron pan off the fire, generally your hand gets a little bit hot. I've also got a frothing mixer. So these little guys actually, you can use these to froth your milk if you don't want to use the milk frother. And then probably my favourite knife out of the bunch. So this guy here is a massive, stuck in there. Look at that bad boy. So I use this mainly to chop up meat and that kind of thing, or maybe chopping up tomatoes. Super sharp. I picked that off of Amazon as well, but I'll put all the links down in the description of all the stuff that I've got, and you can go check it out. That's really nice knife for the price, and as well as that one, that's really nice for the price too. So I think that was only about 30 bucks. So super sharp, really nice weighted handle as well. So yeah, depending how you like your knives, might be good for you, might not be good for you, who knows. But check it out if you want to have a gander. And that's pretty much how I've set up my cutlery drawer. Now, when I'm going camping in certain situations, I may need, what have I done there? Missed something. That's all good. There we go. So when I go camping, just depending on what's happening, I may or may not take a camping oven. So the camp oven doesn't always stay in here. I feel like that's just a bit of a waste just carrying that around, because I drive this every day, so it's a bit of a waste carrying that around all day, every day, just purely for the occasion you go camping. On that side there, I won't open it up because it's a little bit of a mess, but I've got my hose, I've got my water sprayer that obviously goes to the water tank inside the car, and I got a few other bits and bobs, just small stuff in there. But that's my sort of less used area. These are my general main area. And that's my less used main areas. As I said, it's got the hose for the water pump and that kind of stuff, and that's really about it. That's behind there. A few other things that I got my jack and that kind of thing down there, so I've got a space for my jack. But as I said, it's a bit of an area that I don't focus on too much. Up here, I'll just show you this guy. It's pretty cool. So this is actually my lighter. So this is actually it's a USB charge. It's actually a little taser lighter. So I use that just to start up, general twigs and that kind of thing. Or I'm going to start up a lighter, lighter block, whatever they call it. What do they call it? The little things you start your fire with. What are they called? Fire starter lighter. I don't know, whatever those called. Use it to start that. and he just sits up there, Velcroed one side. So a little tip that I can give you, Velcro stuff, so you can put it anywhere. So if you want to put it there, you can put it there. So I'll put it up here because that's a bit of a dead area of space. In here, I've got my, what have I got in here? I've got my Olight light, so that sits up there. I've also got a space for it down the end where I can charge it up. So it's a little magnetic kit that comes with this guy, and he just sits there in case I need him, right in the face of everybody. But it's a good little spot to have your torch, you know, going through your drawers. And here I've got a paper towel holder, and that's pretty much it. I forgot to put my antibacterial wipes back in the drawer. So that's pretty much it on the sense of how the drawers are set up. This is probably a bit of a, as always I think with camping, it's a bit of an evolving setup. This is pretty much now how I like to set it up. I've got everything I need. I do a lot of solo camping, so I don't really need much, if you know what I mean. I've got all my stuff in my cutlery drawer, and I just normally put a bit of food in the fridge. My dry food and that kind of thing, normally either, there's a few little spots that I can put it, but I've got like a little tub that I use, but I don't take too much as like chips and that kind of stuff anymore, because I just find you're sort of eating chips at camp. And yeah, you just get all sort of, you're just eating chips and sort of, not unhealthy things, but you're just sort of gouging out. I sort of still try to eat the main meals when I go camping, have your breakfast, lunch and dinner and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Up here, I still use that for storing my camera gear and that kind of stuff, or it goes down that side. My drone and that kind of stuff fits in there nice and easily. My hat goes up here, so I've got my Bunnings hat that just hides up there. Good little space for it. It's probably a bit of wasted space up there because you can't really put anything. But that's pretty much it. So hopefully you got a little bit of info out of this video. I'm going to sit here and enjoy the rest of this beach, probably have a beer and yeah, pull out the chair and relax a bit. But that's pretty much how the rear of the car is set up. So if you have any questions, as always, chuck them down in the comments. And if I don't see you in the next video, I'll see you out in the tracks and trails. If I don't see you in the tracks and trails, I shall see you later. See you in 2 weeks for the next episode, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!